no hope, no confidence, no self-esteem. A lot of it's that. Get in with the wrong crowd and so on and so on. These young were all sitting around. Perhaps some of the people who were involved in the rioting, who had probably been involved with gangs or goodness knows what. Their lives were a complete and utter mess. And I was asking them what they thought was the problem behind all this. And they said it's nothing to do with race or class. It was actually all to do with families, schools, and the environment in which people live.
I was kind of drinking a lot and just hanging around with the wrong people, and this just came out of nowhere, really, and I thought, well, I can cook a wee bit, and I thought I'm going to go for this.
It's helped my confidence in building it up again. I'm now in work. I'm just generally a more rounded person.
I like to keep on with some work experience at Burnley Express and become a journalist, hopefully with the BBC or some really big companies.
I'm finding this now that I'm getting older and have been doing all these things for quite a long time, that, like with the Prince's Trust, so much of that investment is being repaid in spades, I think, in terms of the difference it's made to people's lives.
Many communities in Britain have suffered for many, many years with generational unemployment. Here in Burnley, we are determined that all students have the best deal, and that means recruiting the best teachers, giving young people aspirations through our business class mentoring scheme, and also making sure that our teachers are constantly inspired through the Prince's Teaching Institute as well.
At the heart of any good lesson is a passionate teacher who really loves the subject that they're teaching, and that's what rubs off on the kids. And what we do at the PTI is to try and re-energise, reinvigorate and get to that passion by reconnecting teachers in order to go away and aim higher.
It's incredibly satisfying. People do things that they enjoy better than things that they find boring. It completely revolutionised what we were doing as a department. It's reminded us why we became teachers in the first place.
The challenge, of course, was to find a way, I thought anyway, of bringing new hope in order to help develop training courses, to develop skills. So gradually, bit by bit, I hope we're eating into the challenges and the difficulties.
Dumfries House was built between 1754 and 1759. His Royal Highness has a vision for what he feels the estate should offer the local community. The area we're in is socially deprived, and because of that we're looking at third and fourth generation unemployed. We work very closely with many of the Prince's charities, and with the Prince's Trust and the Prince's Foundation we run a Get Into Hospitality programme and also a Get Into Sustainable Building programme, all of which are taking young people who are not in employment, education or training and giving them the opportunity to learn real world skills in a real life environment.
In East Ayrshire there really is nothing. Low paying jobs in there, only part-time, a few hours, where you don't gain any experience.
I was signing on and stuff like that. I had nothing to do really. I thought I'm going to need to make this work, I'm going to need to start behaving myself and focus on the important things.
I was claiming benefits and the job centre approached me with this course for the Prince's Trust. Only 12 got selected and luckily I was one of them.
And I just stopped drinking, stopped hanging around with the idiots and started to behave myself really.
To be honest, it's changed my life. I now, instead of not being bothered to get up every morning, I have a reason to get up. I've got money, I can go and do stuff. I'm looking forward to my future.
I think it is going to help a lot of young people because look what it's done for myself. You never know, I could end up teaching people my skills later on in life if I get that good enough.
Have you met the Prince yet?
Not yet.
And how do you feel about that?
Quite nervous, but I'm excited though.
This is from France. To all intents and purposes, it is a rock.
I stumbled on this rock and I took it back to where I was staying and I chipped away at it, and eventually it fell into 2 bits.
Wow.
And this is a cross between a logarithmic and Archimedean spiral, and it's a very beautiful, but we'll have a look at it later on.
I felt very strongly that it was vital to preserve this understanding and knowledge of traditional craftsmanship, traditional techniques, things that were based on thousands of years of accumulated experience. It seemed mad to throw all this away.
The purpose of the Princess Foundation for Children in the Arts is quite simple, really. It builds on that headline that you've probably heard many times now of transforming lives and building communities. But we do that in a very specific way.
Could you get out your imaginary violins and go like this? Na 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 na. Go.
The whole organisation, really, the whole foundation, is built on that kind of moment of inspiration when children who might think of a museum as a kind of boring building they'd never even think about going through the doors of, if they can go through the doors of that museum or that concert hall, see something sensational, hear something wonderful, and see a relationship between it and issues for themselves, their own ideas, their own imaginations, their own problems, whatever it might be, then you plant a seed for life.